In the heart of the Mughal Empire, a new era of justice was about to dawn. The year was 1605, and Prince Salim ascended to the throne, inheriting a vast and powerful kingdom. He adopted the regal name Nur-ud-Din Muhammad Jahangir, which meant conqueror of the world. Jahangir, the son of the legendary Akbar the Great, was keenly aware of the legacy he had to uphold. While his father was a master of administration and conquest, Jahangir wished to be remembered primarily for his commitment to justice. He believed that the highest duty of a monarch was to ensure that no subject, however humble, was denied a fair hearing. This profound belief led to the creation of one of the most remarkable symbols of imperial justice in history. It was known as the Zanjir-i-Adil, the chain of justice. Immediately after his coronation, Jahangir ordered its creation, a testament to his foremost priority. This was not just any chain. It was forged from pure gold, a statement of its immense importance. The chain was said to be 30 gaz in length, stretching an impressive distance for all to see. Attached to this magnificent chain were 60 intricately designed bells. Each bell was crafted to produce a clear, resonant sound that could not be ignored. One end of the chain was fastened to the battlements of the Shah Burj, a royal tower in the Agra fort. This tower was a personal space for the emperor, ensuring the chain's call would reach him directly. The other end of the chain extended down to the bank of the Yamuna River. There, it was attached to a stone post, making it accessible to anyone who came to the riverbank. The location was deliberately chosen, as the river was a public space frequented by people from all walks of life. The purpose of this grand installation was simple yet revolutionary. Any person who felt they had been wronged or denied justice could seek the emperor's personal intervention. They did not need an appointment, nor did they have to bribe their way through a hierarchy of officials. All they had to do was pull the chain. The resulting motion would cause the 60 bells to ring in unison. The sound would travel up the chain to the emperor's quarters in the Shah Burj. It was a signal that a subject was in distress and required the emperor's immediate attention. Jahangir himself described this institution in his memoir, the Tuzuk-i-Jahangiri. He wrote that he instituted the chain so that the seekers of justice should not be troubled. This system effectively bypassed the layers of bureaucracy that often stifled the pleas of the poor. It was a powerful statement that justice was not a privilege, but a right for all his subjects. The chain represented a direct, unbroken link between the ruler and the ruled. It was a physical embodiment of the emperor's promise of accessibility and fairness. Stories and legends soon grew around the chain of justice. One famous tale involves an old woman whose land was seized by a powerful noble. Having found no recourse through the local courts, she made her way to Agra. With trembling hands, she pulled the golden chain, setting the bells of justice into motion. The emperor, hearing the call, immediately summoned her to his court. He listened to her story with patience and empathy. Enraged by the injustice, Jahangir ordered the noble to be punished and the woman's land to be restored. Such stories solidified Jahangir's reputation as a just and accessible king. The chain of justice was more than a mere political gimmick. It reflected a genuine aspect of Jahangir's character. He had a deep interest in the natural world, art, and the intricacies of human life. His court was a center of culture, attracting artists and scholars from all over the world. His sensitivity likely extended to his desire for a just and harmonious society. However, the chain was not the only instrument of justice in the Mughal Empire. A well-organized judicial system, with courts at various levels, was already in place. The emperor himself served as the highest court of appeal. Jahangir would hold regular public audiences in the Diwan-i-Am, or hall of public audience. Here, anyone could present a petition to him directly. The chain of justice was for those extraordinary moments when all other doors seemed closed. It was a fail-safe, an ultimate guarantee against the failure of the system. The influence of his powerful wife, Empress Nur Jahan, also shaped his reign. Nur Jahan was a brilliant administrator and often influenced imperial decrees on justice and governance. Despite his ideals, Jahangir's reign was not without its challenges and contradictions. He faced rebellions, including from his own son, Khusrau. The administration of a sprawling empire was a complex task, and injustices could still occur. The effectiveness of the chain outside the capital city of Agra is a matter of historical debate. Yet the symbolism of the Zanjir idol was immensely powerful. It communicated a clear message about the emperor's intentions. It established a new standard for what subjects could expect from their monarch. The very existence of the chain acted as a deterrent to potential wrongdoers among the officials. They knew that their actions could be reported directly to the highest authority in the land. The chain of justice remains one of the most enduring legacies of Jahangir's rule. It is a testament to a ruler who, despite his personal flaws, held a deep and abiding concern for justice. His reign, therefore, is often remembered not just for its art and culture, but for this golden promise of fairness. The concept was an evolution of ancient traditions of kings being accessible to their people. Jahangir, however, institutionalized it in a uniquely grand and public fashion. The choice of gold was not merely for opulence. It signified purity and incorruptibility. The sound of the bells was designed to be unmistakable, cutting through the daily noise of the capital. It was a sound that promised hope to the desperate. It was a sound that struck fear into the hearts of the unjust. The system relied entirely on the emperor's personal commitment to answering its call. There are no records of the chain being used frivolously, suggesting people understood its gravity. The petitioner's journey to the chain was often a pilgrimage of last resort. The chain's presence elevated the moral authority of the emperor. It demonstrated that his power was not arbitrary, but bound by a sacred duty. This act of political theater had very real consequences for the people of the empire. It empowered the common individual in an unprecedented way. The emperor's justice was not confined to his human subjects. Legends tell of animals, wronged by humans, using the chain to seek redress. One story speaks of an ox, old and abandoned by its owner, ringing the bell. Jahangir, upon investigation, was said to have admonished the owner for his cruelty. While likely apocryphal, these stories reveal the deep cultural impact of the institution. It became a cornerstone of folklore, a benchmark for what a good king should be. The chain was a silent sentinel on the banks of the Yamuna. It witnessed the changing seasons and the flow of countless lives. It saw the hope in the eyes of the oppressed who came to it. It felt the trembling hands of those who risked everything for a chance at justice. Jahangir's 12 decrees, issued at the start of his reign, further supported his judicial aims. These included the abolition of certain taxes and the prohibition of cruel punishments. He ordered hospitals to be built in the major cities of his empire. He also regulated the consumption of alcohol and opium, substances he himself struggled with. The chain of justice must be seen within this broader context of reform. It was the spectacular centerpiece of a genuine, if imperfect, effort to govern justly. The Agra fort, the anchor of the chain, was a symbol of Mughal power. The chain, in contrast, symbolized the responsibilities that came with that power. It was a constant, visible reminder to the emperor of his covenant with his people. The river Yamuna, at the other end, represented the endless stream of life in his kingdom. The chain physically connected the pinnacle of power with the common flow of humanity. This connection was both practical and profoundly symbolic. It declared that the emperor's authority originated from his duty to protect his subjects. The legacy of the chain outlived Jahangir and even the Mughal Empire itself. It became a powerful narrative in the history of India. It is remembered as an ideal of responsive and compassionate monarchy. The story of the Jahangir-i-Adil continues to inspire discussions about justice and governance. It serves as a reminder that true power lies in the fair and equitable treatment of all. The emperor's day was structured to include the administration of justice. Upon waking, he would appear at the Aharoka as a window for public viewing. This act itself was a form of communion between the ruler and his people. Petitioners could try to catch his eye with their written pleas held high. The chain, however, offered a more certain method of being heard. It was an auditory signal, impossible to miss, unlike a silent piece of paper. The cost of the chain was enormous, a significant royal expenditure. This investment underscored the value Jahangir placed on the project. It was a public declaration that justice was worth more than gold. The maintenance of the chain would have also been a continuous duty. Guards would have been posted to ensure its security and proper use. The institution was a complex undertaking, not just a simple rope and bell. Jahangir's personal diary reveals a man who reflected deeply on his own actions. He often recorded the cases he judged and the reasoning behind his verdicts. This self-documentation provides a unique window into the mind of the monarch. The chain was an extension of this introspective and conscientious nature. It was as if he created an external conscience for his empire, a conscience that could be stirred by any subject at any time. The fall of the Mughal Empire did not erase the memory of the Jahangir-i-Adil. British colonial officers, studying Mughal history, took note of this unique institution. It stood in stark contrast to the often inaccessible and alienating colonial legal system. The story was passed down through generations, becoming a part of India's identity. It represented a time when the highest power in the land was just a pull away. This ideal continues to resonate in the quest for justice in the modern world. The golden chain is long gone, but its chime echoes through the corridors of history.